Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and we're here to give you the winning ingredients for your Week 9 DraftKings slate. Okay, the full entire slate, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I got you covered. Before I deep dive into that, give you all my position by position favorite plays, let's just talk about the Instagram and the Patreon. Guys, you got to get signed up. I give daily picks on DFS for basketball. Also, I give you a free parlay every day, or most days. But last night was the Winnipeg Jets in hockey and the Nets. If you follow me on Instagram, if it doesn't come out in the Patreon, I will post it on Instagram, because usually I wait till like last minute just to make sure. Gotta make sure before I put stuff out. And we went with the Jets and the Nets on the money line, and that came through. As you can see on the Instagram, it's there. The free parlay hit. Look at Slim Reaper, KD killing it. And then the Winnipeg Jets were the second leg of that for you guys. Okay. Also on the Patreon right here, these are the DFS plays. All right. This is part of the subscription, monthly subscription. I help you. If you have any questions, I answer them. I got a lot of people on Instagram just, help, going back and forth, just ideas, other stuff. I try to point you in the correct direction. If I'm telling you something that I'm choosing, it's probably because I'm putting money on it. Okay. All right. I'm straightforward with you. Sometimes I get picks from other sources. It comes last minute, but I give you as much as information as I have at the time. All right. Now let's get into this DraftKings. Don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. All right. The link will be down below. Now what we have here, we're going to go position by position for Week 9. Juicy slate we got here. A lot of injuries. No Aaron Rodgers. Possibly no Kyler Murray. We're going to start at the quarterback position, and we're going to go with Josh Allen. I'm going to give you my top 3 plays, all right, for quarterback. Same thing for running back, wide receiver, and then tight end. Josh Allen is coming in, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the worst teams in the league. Had a very great performance against the Miami Dolphins. 29 completions, 42 attempts, 249 yards, 2 TDs. Solid game. Added in the rushing, 55 with a TD, did have a fumble. They struggled in the first half, and then they turned up in that second half and did what the Buffalo Bills are used to doing. Now they're going on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are putrid on both sides of the ball, especially passing, as you see here, 28th ranked against the pass. So these are big pluses for Beasley, for Diggs, for Gabriel Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, all those guys. Okay, all those guys now are going to have 2 thumbs up on that wide receiver core. All right, and a very good game environment. Could be a blowout where you can see they lean on the running game more, but this is a very strong pass heavy attack. Okay, next will be Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to continue to play Patrick Mahomes because he shouldn't be this price. Okay, this is an 8K quarterback. As you can see, the upside, 32 DK, 27 DK. If I continue to go to the beginning of the year, 36, 28, 24. This is what we're expecting out of him. That big blow-up game is going to come. He's had a lot of turnovers, which hurt some of his production. But we already know what the Kansas City Chiefs are, okay? They're going to make the playoffs. Stop acting like they're not going to make the playoffs and make a run. Just because they're struggling, that doesn't mean they're going to suck. Like, we saw what the Buccaneers did. They were sucking, and then after the bye, they went on their run. Like, it's coming. It's coming. So I'm going to stay consistent and continue to play Patrick Mahomes. This is top 2 quarterback in the league. Look, stop. We're going to play him each and every week, especially if he's below $8,000. Next, we're going to go with, I like Herbert, but I think that could be more of a running game because Philly struggles against the run. Actually, both of these teams struggle against the run. Lamar Jackson's in a great spot All these high-priced quarterbacks are in great matchups. You saw what Cooper Rush was able to do against Minnesota Vikings defense. Now you add in a rushing factor, what Lamar Jackson can do, the possibility that Sammy Watkins can come back. Rashad Bateman is getting acclimated more to the offense. This all helps Lamar Jackson. The fact they have injuries to the running back position has forced Lamar Jackson to run, to throw the ball more this year. They're leaning on him more. As you can see, some of these earlier games, 442 yards passing, 316 yards passing. Those are, very strange games if you're looking at previous Lamar Jackson. Now it's coming a little more of a frequency between him getting comfortable with his receiving core, which they improved in the off season. All right, I really like Lamar Jackson at 7,300. Any other choices? Joe Burrow's in a good spot against Cleveland. Not looking at Jalen Hurts, no. If we're looking below those top tier guys, I'm willing to take a dart. Okay, I'm willing to take a dart on Jordan Love. He's at a min price of 4,400. This is where you can get really, really creative if you're willing to go this route. All right, Casey, you expect him to be up big. Jordan Love is a dual threat. The possibilities are there. The wide receivers are getting healthy. He's going to have Devonta Adams, so that should be able to help this young quarterback, okay, in his first start. So we will see if he can compete with Mahomes. They were comparing him to Mahomes when he was coming out of the draft, just because, I don't know, because he's light-skinned. He has his arm talent just a little bit. He can run just a little bit. I understand that, but we will see. He gets to go up against Patrick Mahomes in this game. With the wide receivers being back, Lazard, Adams, and probably Marquez Valdez-Scantling, you got a wide receiver core to help support this quarterback. Can they scheme up these guys open, and can he deliver the ball on time? This is a KC defense that is not good at all. So if you want to get really, really creative, you can really save a lot of salary. Go to Jordan Love and stack the KC side. You can afford Adams. You can afford Tyreek Hill. You can afford Travis Kelce and still have enough to build a very solid lineup. So if you want to go this route, I think that it's worth it, especially in GPPs. And as you can see, 31st ranked defense that they're going up against in the Kansas City Chiefs. So this can be a very high scoring affair. I like Jordan Love at 4,400. Next, we're going to move over to the running back position. And there's a lot of good game scripts for some of these guys. Alvin Kamara is going to be the lead back for the Saints, pretty much the only option, with Michael Thomas pretty much out for the rest of the season. They're going to lean on Alvin Kamara. As you look at this, 20 attempts against Seattle, 19 attempts against Tampa Bay, not to mention the receptions, 10 receptions against Seattle. Yeah, only 4 targets and 3 receptions against Tampa Bay. We're going to see Trevor Siemian mix in a little bit of Taysom Hill. They're gonna have to utilize their main star, and as long as he's getting opportunities, I'm willing to pay that $8,200 price. He's supposed to be higher than that, okay? Atlanta, a poor defense. This is a great game script. Austin Eckler is the next guy we're going to look at against Philly. Philly cannot stop a nosebleed, especially the running game. 23rd ranked rushing defense. On other, DVOAs, it's going to be higher. But for DraftKings, it's 23rd, and they should pound that rock. They are coming off a loss against the Patriots. They're going to be mad. I get it. It's cross country, but they can lean on that running game. They have the better quarterback in this game. They have the better defense in this game. Everything is pointing to the Chargers, and they should be able to lean on their guy who's a big dual threat, and that's Austin Eckler. We'll throw him in there as well. Other running backs we're going to look at this week, with obviously Jordan Love becoming the quarterback. You can see Green Bay leaning on Aaron Jones a little more, just like they did last week against Arizona. 15 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. Look at this, outstanding 11 targets, 7 receptions in that game as well. They're going to utilize him in the multiple facets to get things moving. You want to get your quarterback in a good groove at the beginning of the game. Let them think about that running game. If it's working, perfect. Then you hit him with some play action. give Jordan Love some nice, easy open throws so he can get warmed up and they can have a nice functioning offense without Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones is a great choice at 7,200. We're going to continue down the list. I think Nick Chubb is a very nice option. He had pretty much all the carries against Pittsburgh. They're a very tough defense. He only was able to get 7 fantasy points. Now you're going to be in Cincinnati, who struggled against the Jets, stopping their duo of Michael Carter and Ty Johnson. You get Nick Chubb, who's going to be the bell cow. And with their offensive line, I think the Browns are going to need to set things up that way so he can help Baker Mayfield, because they don't have Odell Beckham Jr. no more. It's just Jarvis Landry, the questionable tag on Donovan Peoples-Jones. That doesn't bode well for them as well. So they're going to need to lean on Nick Chubb. He's going to have one of those old-fashioned 100-plus yard games with 2 TDs. Nick Chubb has that opportunity this week to do so. All right? Next down the line, we're going to look for a little more value, okay? Josh Jacobs is in a good spot against the Giants. Devontae Booker is a good spot against Las Vegas. So both running backs in that game are facing bad rush defenses. Booker, on the other hand, is getting a lot of receptions and rushes, used heavily in that KC game while Saquon Barkley was out. As you can see, you want guys that get 10, 15 plus attempts plus receptions. All right. You need dual threats in your RB spot to give you more upside to get to the top of these leaderboards. All right. You just can't hit them with unless it's an awesome matchup, then you just can't hit them with the one-dimensional running back. All right. It doesn't bode well. We're looking for a little more value right here. 5,200. We got Boston Scott. All right, Philadelphia. This man came out of nowhere, stole it from Kenneth Gainwell, was able to take advantage against Detroit, 12 carries, 60 yards. They went the veteran route, which was very shocking, the way they were using Kenneth Gainwell at the beginning of the season. Actually, every game throughout the season besides last week. They moved in Boston Scott. They went to Jordan Howard as the number 2, and Gainwell got the scraps. So I don't know if they're going to change their game plan, but Boston Scott for right now is going to be the number 1 guy in Philadelphia, and in a great matchup, we'll go with him at 5,200. Last but not least, I have a super cheap guy at 4,900 with the injury to James Robinson. Let's get a full update on him. Did he practice in that game on Friday? He's currently questionable. Officially questionable. Urban Meyer said before Friday's practice that the tailback was expected to receive a questionable tag, and that proved to be correct. We're going to have to find out. We're going to wait maybe Saturday, and most likely, definitely Sunday morning, we'll find out news on James Robinson. If he is out, then we will go to Carlos Hyde at 4,900. Super cheap option. He's going to get opportunities in the receiving game and rushing the ball. Obviously, this is not a great game script against Buffalo, but they are a home team, so that helps them. If it wasn't Buffalo, then you can definitely see it on slot. But Hyde is getting both work. Okay, rushing 9 attempts, 32 yards last week, and receiving absolutely insane. 6 receptions, 8 targets. Urban Meyer trusts Carlos Hyde. They go way back. And this is why I love him at this play. If James Robinson is going to be out, we're going to go with Carlos Hyde at 4,900. And that's your punt play for running back. Now we're going to move on to the wide receivers. Obviously, the quarterbacks I spoke about, pick their wide receivers. If we're going Josh Allen, all of those guys are great options. Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis, and possibly Cole Beasley if he plays. For Patrick Mahomes, we already know. We're looking at Tyreek Hill, and then we're going to either Hardman or Byron Pringle. Probably Hardman, okay? Lamar Jackson, he has Marquise Brown, he has Rashad Bateman, and I would stick to those 2, okay? Now, the other singular wide receivers that I think will get a huge boost this week, number 1 will be Brandon Ayuk. You got a big question tag on Deebo Samuel. He said his injury is worse this week than the last, so that doesn't bode well. We've been waiting for Brandon Ayuk big game all year long. He was a preseason darling, and now he gets an opportunity to go up against the Arizona Cardinals, who are probably going to be hampered on the offensive side. And San Francisco can take advantage of that with their running game, get their playmakers open. They get George Kittle back. You got Brandon Ayuk if Deebo Samuel out, and he'll be the number one guy, and he is super explosive at 4,100. That is an absolute steal. All right. Next wide receiver we're going to go to. With the unfortunate demise of Henry Ruggs, that leads way to Bryan Edwards, another preseason darling who's going to step in to be the number one guy. Renfro will be the slot wide receiver. Bryan Edwards will be the number one X wide receiver, and he's going to take over. We've been waiting for 7 weeks right now. He's always come on in that fourth quarter or overtime. Now we can see a spot where Derek Carr can get really comfortable with him and feed Bryan Edwards the ball. He's very big and has super elite speed to combo with that rare talent. Outstanding breakout age at the age of 17, the earliest of any wide receiver ever to be recorded if you go on Player Profiler just to check that out. But Bryan Edwards is someone to watch out for, another wide receiver at 4,100. Let's get both of those guys in there for you. All right, we got Ayuk. We got Bryan Edwards. Another one-off wide receiver will be Jerry Jeudy for the Denver Broncos. Coming back from injury last week, was able to come with 4 catches, 4 targets, 39 yards. Had a rushing attempt, which was shocking. But now he's being back acclimated to the offense, has Teddy Bridgewater. We should see a lot of targets. As you saw in week 1 against the Giants, 6 receptions, 7 targets, 72 yards. That was essentially in 3 quarters. He is back now, and he's going to get peppered at $5,000 DraftKings. I think this is an absolute steal for him to get him against Dallas, which probably they're going to be down. High-scoring affair. They have to keep up with Dak Prescott in that offense. Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton are going to get a lot of looks. Sutton is going to be covered by Diggs, and that leaves Jerry Jeudy open in the middle, and I love him this week. All right. Another one-off is, we'll go with one last one-off. One last one-off will be Jarvis Landry at 5,100. I'm giving you all the mid-tier and punt plays for wide receiver because we already know the elite wide receivers. I already gave you the guys to pair with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and it goes on and on. So you need the cheaper guys to fill in that flex spot, and Jarvis Landry can be one of those guys. With no Odell Beckham, he saw 10 targets last week, 5 receptions, probably a lot of missed throws and miscommunications with Baker Mayfield, but the numbers are there to prove it. When Odell Beckham is out and Jarvis Landry is the number one, he has produced well over 15 fantasy points each and every game. He's getting peppered with targets, and this is going to be their lead wide receiver in that game against Cincinnati. I love Jarvis Landry at 5,100. So you got a nice core of mid-tier and below wide receivers to fill out your lineups, or if you're doing multiple lineups, throw them in your lineup builder and give them a nice percentage so they can boost the rest of your lineup. Let's go to the last position, and that is going to be tight end. Tight end, we have Travis Kelce. We have everyone this week, all right? Kelce's in a great spot. He's been very up and down this year. You're not seeing the 30, 20s and all the, the big numbers that we're used to seeing. It's a little bit of downturn because the struggle of that KC offense, Patrick Mahomes throwing a lot of interceptions, but the bounce back week is soon to come. He's all the way down to 7K. 7K. He was at the beginning of the season, what was he? 85, 8,300. Now you're getting him at 7K. Travis Kelce is at a nice price this week. All these guys are viable. Darren Waller against the Giants. Giants struggle against tight ends. And you get Darren Waller, 6,200 with no Henry Ruggs. The lead wide receivers, the go-getters for this offense will be Waller and Bryan Edwards, and in that order, okay? So he's great at 6,200. And then we can go all the way down. Don't forget about Kyle Pitts. Like, you can't go wrong. I can see a lineup go 2 tight ends this week. No more Calvin Ridley. Kyle Pitts is the guy. He got 6 targets. Obviously, the focus of Carolina was to stop him, and they did a very good job. Now you get the New Orleans Saints. So there's another individual matchup. They know what they're going to see. So Kyle Pitts, we can watch a little bit of him, but he's going to be the focus of most defenses because that's all they got. They really are. That's all they got. They got Russell Gage. They got a lot of no-name, lesser tier wide receivers, okay? Elias Zacchaeus, they got Russell Gage, they got Tajay Sharp. All these lower level wide receivers, the main focus will be Kyle Pitts. And then last but not least, don't forget about George Kittle. Kittle is finally back. He's confirmed to play this week. He's going to be taken off the injured reserve, obviously, and cleared to play for this week. No Deebo. If there's no Deebo Samuel, I am all in on George Kittle because it's just going to be him and Ayuk. Him and Ayuk show. Obviously, they'll run with Mitchell, but Kittle finally back and healthy is a positive. We're going to throw him in there because he's going to be my favorite tight end. If I'm looking for any cheaper tight ends below that price, Dalton Schultz would be a guy. He's been getting consistent work. He's that intermediate guy. Look at the consistent targets: 7, 6, 8, 8, 7. That's another sneaky play right there at 4,800. Zach Ertz, obviously, since they acquired him, but you don't know who the quarterback is going to be, so that's a wait and see. Dallas Goedert is in a nice spot. He's the favorite target for Jalen Hurts. As you can see, the consistency: 5 targets against Vegas and 7 targets against Detroit Lions. Dallas Goedert is another cheap option at 4,500. And that will be our breakdown for week 9. All right. I think we have some good things here. Some solid mid-tier and below plays, especially at the wide receiver position. With new opportunities comes new success. And we can get these guys, take advantage of their new price because it's going to go up after this week. It's definitely going to go up this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to the Patreon if you want help, if you need a community around you or just one-on-one talks. I'm here to help. It is worth the monthly subscription, guys. It really is. And I'm giving parlays. I'm giving others. Everything is in there. Everything is in there. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out, guys.